What we find postpartum is that we are often up in the air, we find ourselves all over the place, and this practice is going to keep us on the floor. It's going to keep us nice and grounded, and just connecting with ourselves, reconnecting with our body, which may not even feel like our own anymore if, you know, we may have had a complicated birth, or even the experience of birth itself, no matter what that looked like, is strenuous. So let's take it onto the mat. Okay, so we're going to begin in all fours, ladies. So placing the hands just directly under the shoulders and the knees directly under the hips. I'm going to turn the toes under, and we're going to inhale, and we're going to look up between the eyebrows, and as we do, we're going to take that navel down towards the yoga mat. And we're going to exhale, and we're going to gently curl that spine up, just becoming aware of every vertebrae of the spine contracting as we curl under, and we look towards the navel. Okay, so really pushing up through the shoulders, pushing up through the back, coccyx just really extending, pushing the skin away from the shoulders, and releasing back down again. Now in pregnancy you wouldn't have came all the way down, but now we're taking that navel all the way down as close to the mat as possible, and we're looking all the way up in the inhale. Okay, so I just want you to remember, inhale up, exhale down. Let's just move back a little bit here and get a full view of my fat ass. Okay, so we're looking up, inhale, and down on the exhale. And as we exhale, take this nice and slowly, just curling, curling, curling under, looking towards the navel again, pushing into the hands, palms of the hands, grounding with the fingers, pushing the skin and the shoulders away from the body, grounding with the knees, with the toes, and inhale again, so curling under. So just imagining yourself like a cat, taking that navel towards the spine, looking up between the eyebrows towards the third eye. This is our drishti, our focus point. And then we're going to exhale again, and we're taking this nice cat curling movement extremely slowly, so the head is coming towards the navel. That's the last thing that happens. And then we inhale again and allow the body to flow very softly and slowly. And as the gaze looks up between the eyebrows, the navel comes towards the mat. Okay, so a nice easy way to remember this is inhale up, exhale down. Okay, inhale up, exhale down. So now we're just going to flip the toes over, and we're just going to bring the buttocks back towards the back of the mat. Just making sure you can see me here. Towards the back of the mat, okay? And we're going to stretch those hands out. Now, there's different ways that you can place your knees. You can place them together if you want a better stretch on the lower back, okay? If it's still uncomfortable to lean onto the abdomen, maybe you've had a C-section, maybe you're just uncomfortable here altogether, I'm just going to take those knees apart, so whichever one is comfortable for you. If you keep the knees together, you're going to get a nicer lower back stretch around about the coccyx. Or you can take the knees apart and just gently, we're going to walk those fingers forward. Okay, and we're going to place the forearms down in the mat. We're going to place the forehead on the mat. Okay, and we're going to push the buttocks back towards the heels and push those fingers forward. So we're really stretching the entire length of the spine here. So hopefully you can see me here. All right. Pushing those fingers away, stretch, 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 stretch. And then you can slide yourself back again. You can do that a few times until you find the right position for you. Now, if that's too much and you can't take the head all the way down, you can come onto the forearms, or you can rest the chin on the hands like this, or you can just spread those hands out and take that forehead down towards the mat. And we can put our head to the side, we can put our forehead down. And wherever we're comfortable, we're just going to rest here for 5 to 10 breaths. Now the thing about postnatal yoga is there is absolutely no rush, and I want you to listen specifically to how your body feels, okay? So all of the time, anything that's uncomfortable, we just sit it out. And this is called child's pose or balasana, and you can come into this pose anytime you want, anytime you need a rest, okay? If this is uncomfortable, just come back into simple cross-legged. So let's go back into balasana, child's pose, for a couple of seconds. Take some nice deep breaths here. Inhale the same length as exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Now again, remember you can pause this video at absolutely any time you like and come back to center. You can keep practicing if you want to do more. So now we're going to do a posture called balancing table. All right, so there's two parts to this. We're going to begin with the arms, and if you're feeling strong enough, you can add in the legs as well. So we're starting again in our tabletop position. So there's hands directly under the shoulders, the knees directly under the hips, and we're going to extend the right arm out in front of us. All right, so here are your hands nice and straight. We're going to stretch those fingertips as far as we can. Now, if this is enough, we absolutely stay here. Now, you'll actually feel a contraction in the abdominal muscles here, so gently taking that navel towards the spine if this is available to you. Now, this is for a very early postpartum, so remember, we're taking it easy. We're listening to everything our body is telling us. We're extending that hand out in front. If we can take more, we're going to extend the opposite leg out behind us in a nice straight line. And this is balancing table. Now, this might be too much. If it is, we just take that leg down. Okay, now we can keep the legs straight or we can bend it down. So it doesn't matter what stage you're at, just be aware of how the abdominal muscles feel, how the pelvic floor feels. Pull the navel back to the spine. So that's your Uddiyana Bandha for those who are long-term yogis. And Mula Bandha, we can pull up in the pelvic floor as well, so pulling up and back, feeling both of those at once if that is available to you, okay? So we've got all the different versions. We've got arm only, we've got two knees down, one leg straight out behind, and one leg raised. Now focusing on pulling that navel up and back, we're going to take 5 breaths here. Okay, so extending the fingertips and the foot in opposite directions, and we're counting to 5. Just inhale, equaling the exhale, in and out through the nose. We're going to very slowly bring the right hand down, bring the left foot and knee back down and give ourselves a little wiggle. Okay, so now we're going to try it on the opposite side. Now you may feel that you're stronger on one side than the other, and this is perfectly normal. Do not worry, okay? So if you got the leg up on one side, don't think that you have to do it on the other side. All right, so we're going to go with the left hand now. We're going to extend those fingers out, nice straight line. Taking the navel back to the spine, but making sure we're not curving up, okay? So we've got a nice flat back here, extending those fingertips as far as they'll go, pushing into the hand, but not resting on it. So there is that pulling up motion and extending that hand forward. Okay, if it's available to us, we can take that right leg back, the opposite leg. Okay, so again, pulling up Uddiyana Bandha if it's available, Mula Bandha as well, but making sure we're keeping that back nice and straight. If it's available, we take that leg up and out, extending the toes and the fingers in opposite directions, taking 5 breaths here. We're going to bring this hand down, we're going to bring this leg down, and we're going to pop back into child's pose for a little rest. Now remember, you can take those knees apart if you want, and we're going to extend those fingertips out in front and just take a couple of breaths here. Resting. I'm actually resting in puppy pose here. We're just taking a rest. A few breaths here and just relax. Okay, so we're just going to gently walk the hands back up. Now don't worry if you're feeling stiff or you're feeling out of shape. You may, your body's been through a lot, so it's important to respect how it feels. We're going to do a very gentle twist here. Now again, proceed with caution postnatally. If anything feels painful, don't do it, okay? So we're going to take the right leg and we're just going to place that over the left leg, okay? And the right foot should be nice and flat on the ground. Now we're going to push into the sit bones. We can separate them if we want, and that just helps us ground a little bit more. And we're going to pull up on that mula bandha again, so contracting the pelvic floor, okay? So just imagining a lifting of the pelvic floor up to the navel. And we're going to take that navel back to the spine, okay? So up and back. And this just gently starts to heal what's known at Yoga Bellies as the BAPs. So that's the back, the abs, and the pelvic floor, all right? And we work all three of these areas together because they all need the support of the other to fully restore and repair, guys. So that's why it's really, really important that we do that. We don't just do sit-ups, we don't just do pelvic floor exercises. Everything at Yoga Bellies for mum and baby works together to restore your full health, okay? So we're pulling up in the pelvic floor, we're taking the navel back to the spine, so imagine that pulling up, that pulling back, okay? So we've got a nice strong core. We're going to lengthen through the top of the head, and we're going to place the hands at either side of the hips. We're then going to take the left hand, we're going to cross it over the body, we're going to push the left elbow against the right knee, okay? So we're going to create a bind when we do this, all right? So actively pushing that knee in, pushing the elbow out, so pushing them against each other, this is known as creating a bind, and extending the hand up. We're then going to take the right hand and place it behind the body, and we're going to gently twist, okay? So remember, we've got that pulling up movement as well, and we're twisting and looking over the back shoulder. And we're just breathing here, taking 5 breaths. Remember that pelvic floor, mula bandha, pulling up in the pelvic floor. If you let it go, that's okay, just remember to bring it back in. Just taking 5 breaths here, pulling the navel towards the spine. If we want to untwist a little and then twist back round, that's fine too. Just taking 5 breaths here and continually pushing that elbow against the knee, okay? And on the exhale, we're going to relax. So you should feel that along the shoulders, the arms. You're also going to feel nice compression in the hara, which is how we refer to, excuse me, the womb space after birth. So by pulling back, we're connecting the spine with the front of the body again, okay? Because there's a big space there where baby lived, they're no longer there, so we're connecting that back together. We're pulling up in the pelvic floor and we're bringing everything back. All of those BAPs are back together, okay? So this nice twisting motion is helping to redefine the waist. It's starting to realign all of those organs. It's helping strengthen the abdominal muscles and the pelvic floor gently with the contraction of the bandhas as well. So we're going to change over sides now. So just extend the legs out, okay? Give them a little wiggle. And we're just going to change over sides. So this time, we're going to take the right leg over the left leg, okay? Can you see this here? Just check, right. Oop. So right leg over the left leg. And again, pushing down with the sit bones, so we're nice and grounded here. And we're going to pull up with the pelvic floor. We're going to pull the navel back to the spine, so we're creating that bind there. Then we're going to extend the right hand over, okay? And we're going to push again, the elbow against the knee, so creating a bind. And as we do, we're extending through the top of the head and just lengthening before we exhale and rotate. And we're looking as far back over the back shoulder as we can. Okay, so that might be here, that might just be here. Do not force it, don't overextend the neck, just what's comfortable. And we're going to take 5 breaths here. So remembering to contract the navel, take the navel back to the spine, realigning the organs, reclaiming that space, reclaiming the hara, and actively pushing that elbow against the knee, okay? So we're taking 5 breaths here. And on the exhale, we gently release and we come back to center. Okay, so now we're going to bring ourselves into cobbler's pose or Baddha Konasana. Now, if this is extremely uncomfortable for you, you can, as my beautiful assistants, my cushions here are doing, you can place cushions under the knees, all right? And we're going to place the soles of the feet together. And this is really nice for, it's opening up the hips. You're probably familiar with this from Yoga Bellies for Pregnancy. But another thing that it's very useful for is focusing on loosening out the back. Okay, now if this is not available to you, you can come into simple cross-leg position if that's more comfortable. If neither of these are available, then you can come in to hero pose. Okay, and what we're going to do here is a simple forward bend. So we're not taking the full legs out. This is just a nice simple forward bend. It's going to give us maximum pull down at the sacrum, because as new mums we have all sorts of backaches with if we're feeding, we're in funny positions, we're probably sleeping with a baby here and a bottle there, and you know, all this stuff, we're all over the place. So it's about, you know, just releasing that tension from the lower back. That's what we're going to focus on here. So let's take it from Baddha Konasana, cobbler pose. But as I said, any of these variations are absolutely fine, whatever's available to you, okay? So let's bring the tension back to the pelvic floor. We're pulling up in the pelvic floor. We're taking the navel back to the spine, okay? So that pulling up action, the pulling back action, and we immediately lengthen through the top of the head, okay? Shoulders back and down. Just take a few moments here. We're just going to breathe. We're taking 5 breaths here. Inhale the same length as the exhale. Extending through the top of the head, straightening that spine. Okay. So from here, we're just going to gently take the chin down towards the chest first, okay? And you can just feel the back of the neck releasing and relaxing. Can you feel that? So I probably have a lovely double chin here, which is one of the benefits. Woohoo! Okay, so taking the chin towards the chest and just releasing and relaxing. Remember, you've still got that nice straight spine, so extending through the top of the head, but taking the chin towards the chest. Bring the head back up. You can do this, you can pause the video, do it as many times as you want to. We're going to look to the right. Remembering to lengthen, nice straight spine. Back to center. These may seem like really simple exercises, but they're extremely effective postnatally at releasing tension. It's the same on the other side. And then we're just going to roll that head around the neck and the shoulders. And again, this is personal preference. If you have any neck issues, please consult your physio before partaking in anything of this kind. Oh, that's so nice. Yay. Okay, and you can vary that with the side to side and forward and back. Okay. The other variation we can take is taking the back of the head to help us get down towards the chin, down towards the chest, and actually just popping the neck up like this. There's a couple of variations you can have. So now from our chosen seated position, we're just going to walk those hands forward. Okay, so you're not going to see me, I'm going to disappear from view, but I am still there. Okay, and we're just going to walk forward, walk those fingers forward, forward, forward. We can take the head down to the mat. Extend those fingers as we did in child's pose before. Okay, so extending all the way out as far as we can. Itchy nose. And then we're going to move from side to side. So we're going to move to the left. And then we're going to walk the hands over to the right. And again, extending those fingertips as far as possible. And then back to centre. Again, please feel free to pause the video, stay here as long as you wish to, okay? These are just a few simple exercises that you can do pretty much immediately postpartum. Again, please consult your health visitor, midwife, doctor before partaking in any physical practice, but these are a couple of nice things that you can do. And it's really just to help you you know, become aware of how your body's feeling by taking the navel back to the spine. You can always also practice reverse breathing. I've done another lovely video on that on Yoga Bellies TV YouTube channel. And just a couple of nice gentle stretches are just going to help you throughout the day. Loosen up the back, the neck, the shoulders, all these places where we're immediately carrying tension postnatally. Okay, so add this in to your normal practice. Make this your normal practice. It's 5 minutes. Pause it, mix it up, do what you like with it. Pick and choose the asana. But these are nice restorative postures for postpartum mama, and I hope you found them helpful. Namaste.